It's the weekend.
Warriors. Warriors. Come on to play.
Yeah, here we go.
Good Saturday morning, everybody. We're broadcasting live from the Weekend Warriors studios in beautiful Peoria, Arizona. I'm Rob Fermano. Alongside my partners in crime, we've got the legendary Philip Amorine and Mr. Luke Wright. And this is the Weekend Warriors.
If you would like to be joining us both in the weekend and be a warrior, then you can get in that comment section wherever you're listening to us live. That could be on YouTube. That could be on X. That could be on Facebook.
That was a tough one.
That was a tough one because I couldn't remember which one was the naughty one because it's not.
The naughty one.
Yeah, it's not Instagram, but you can comment on our clips over there and you too can be wrong about Aaron Judge and I can be the only one right. But join us and we will probably read out your comment aloud.
Probably. Most likely.
More than likely.
Yes.
Like if you
almost always.
Yeah, as long as you don't say anything wildly inappropriate. It can even be a little inappropriate and we'll probably read it.
Or if you say it wildly appropriate, but we don't understand what you're saying.
That is a big one too. That's a big no-no. You can say like
we've got some older
pencil.
folks on the show who don't understand the youth lingo.
So
sometimes they read stuff out.
Can you define an older folk? What does that mean?
I think you know.
No, I really don't. Tell me what an older folk is. What category would that be?
I think
I've got a bad thought. Facebook user.
Oh.
Wow. You mean the place where our following is growing every day?
No, you know what it is?
Thank you, Facebook.
No, thank you, Facebook. But you know what it is the errant commenter who's looking for banana nut recipes and then just happens to find our show. It was like, Julia, why are you on the Weekend Warriors?
I was just thinking Ralph. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, that's much nicer.
Yeah.
Than where I was going.
So then what you're basically saying is somebody that actually is educated, has experience, and knows what he's talking about. I get it.
To be clear, I think all three of us have a college degree here. So I think we're all educated.
That's not education.
You're definitely
going to college is not education,
You're
especially in your guys' era. Going to college did not educate
Listen,
you.
you're definitely experienced. I'll give you that one.
All right.
Lots of
life
experience.
educates you, not college.
Certainly salty.
College destroys you. Life
Definitely
fixes
salty.
It. All right. So on our show today, we are going to talk nothing but politics in the first hour. No, I'm kidding. Because these doilies over here couldn't handle that. Anyway, let's go ahead and we're gonna yes, delicate doilies. You guys are like delicate doilies. That's what your whole generation is. Yes,
I am
delicate
hungry.
doilies.
I haven't had breakfast yet.
Same, actually.
And I'm the responsible one that got up early, had breakfast, had my coffee, and I'm ready to go.
But let's be honest here. Did you make your own breakfast?
Yes.
Oh, good for you.
I make my own breakfast every morning.
Oh, really?
Yes, I don't rely on my wife to do that. She does enough for me as it is.
Yes, she does. Your wife is a saint.
She absolutely is.
Yeah.
I would not argue that.
That's true.
You couldn't get a better woman than that.
Yeah.
At least I couldn't.
Well, I
didn't want to discount.
I
your
found the
woman or
one,
your
but,
woman,
you know.
So you guys have the same situation. Say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
This is me
Yeah,
teaching you.
yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. So we're going to start off. We're going to talk about the tourney a little bit. We're going to get into, of course, our right value pick. You have to do that. Then we've got some MLB. We're going to talk about opening day, opening weekend. I got a little bone to pick with PCA. We're going to talk about that. Then we're going to get, of course, Phil's favorite segment. We have our International Soccer Minute, which is a little bit different this week.
Son of a pitch.
And then, we're probably going to talk tiny bit of Tiger Wood, some NBA, and finish up in the NFL. I said tiny bit of Tiger Wood.
A tiny Tiger Wood?
A tiny Tiger Wood.
Are we going to talk about Tiger Woods at all?
I
Or
know,
just Tiger Wood?
Nope, just Tiger Wood.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely better. And Tanner's right off the bat on YouTube. Whoa, don't discount that Cronkite degree Luke has.
That's true. That is true. Walter Cronkite School of Journalism.
Tanner?
It's real gold that gets...
Tanner, I don't know you, but let me show you. Discounted. Okay.
Wow.
All right, so let's go ahead and I'll let you guys start. Talk Sweet 16 and Elite 8 and all that good stuff.
Well, I haven't had breakfast yet, but I will certainly be having lunch. I don't know about you guys, but before we get to the Sweet 16, there was a nice game played over there against those Yukon Huskies, who are very serpent-like because they squeeze the life out of you. I was wrong. I took 4.5 points. I could have taken 10 points. I could have taken 15 points and I still would have covered because me and Mr. Luke Wright over there, we had ourselves a nice little in and out bet. And let's just say, I don't know how many patties they can that they can stack all the way up to the ceiling, but I will be eating like a gosh darn king at In-N-Out today because God bless Dan Hurley and all of his yelling. I mean, it was a true yell off. Like the highlights,
bad.
Yeah, the highlights were mostly just red-faced, balding white guys just yelling at students. But nonetheless, UCLA and Nick Cronin were vanquished by the UConn Huskies, who we can either move along, who will face the Duke Blue Devils in a bid to make the Final Four in the Elite Eight. But
I'll say two things here. I'll say three things here.
okay, that's good.
One.
Mm.
I lost. I'm going to pay up the bet. It sucks. It sucks. They were only down 5 at half.
I was a little worried.
It was close in the first half of the second half.
It was.
They were keeping close. They were keeping there. I think they even took like a 1-2 point lead a couple times. And then they just fell apart. They stopped scoring. Cronin got teed up despite literally not saying a word. It was he
got teed up the one time he wasn't saying something.
Yes, like he finally had stopped yelling and he was just standing there. The action was on the other side of the court. It was like a fast break or something, and they just stop and the ref tees up the coach who literally did not say a word. They even cut to him and he was silent. He had done just like, the typical coach clap, just like a couple, and apparently that was enough. They teed him up, and to me that was when it really did just completely
the dam broke.
At that point, Cronin had virtually just lost his handle on the whole game, and UCLA just could not buy a basket to end the game. But also, where did you get an In-N-Out hat?
That was my question.
Like from my
I'm
angle,
assuming In-N-Out.
When he put it on, I couldn't even see the In-N-Out one, so I'm like, do you just carry around a California Bear?
Some of us have taste, Luke.
Then why are you wearing an In-N-Out hat?
What?
Some of us. Hey, now hold on.
Whoa! You don't like In-N-Out?
It's fine. I don't think I'd ever wear their
merch.
I don't think I'd wear any In-N-Out
any
merch.
of their propaganda.
I've got In-N-Out merch.
That's crazy. That you wear?
I grew up with In-N-Out. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're also from California. You guys
Right,
have a
yeah.
weird love obsession with it.
It's
so
good.
It's fine. It's okay.
I will go to my grave touting the benefits of In-N-Out, and it is not what everybody thinks it is. Because whenever you first get there, you're like, "This is a fine burger." That's not what it's about. That is not
the burger's really good.
Why do people like Baker Mayfield? It's not because of his height. It's not because of his arm.
Because it tastes good.
Because of his gusto.
I'm not going to go there. It's because of his price tag. $33 million, and getting that production at $33 million is astounding. You go to In-N-Out and you get everything that you could possibly want for less than $10. Hello.
And you get 7-Up.
Yes.
Where do you ever see 7-Up on the menu?
7-Up.
There's a reason why you don't see it on the menu. To me,
put a little whiskey in it. That's good.
I'm a little bringing your own shooter of whiskey for In-N-Out 7-Up.
Absolutely.
We never asked him what he ate for breakfast.
That's true. That is true. To me, it's just, especially when I was younger and there weren't as many. It was never worth the line, especially with how trash their fries are.
Never go to the Las Vegas In-N-Out. That is perpetually.
Yeah, no.
Like an hour.
Well, that's because there was only one for the longest time.
Yeah, I just fully walked by it.
So, are you the White Castle guy too? You don't like them either?
I have only had White Castle once in my life because I'm from Arizona, and up until a couple years ago, we didn't have White Castle.
So you didn't travel in life?
I did not travel and go like, hey, there's a White Castle.
Why wouldn't you?
Because it's White Castle.
Oh my goodness.
But the few times I've had White Castle, I think I've had it twice, and both times were just disgusting.
Oh my god!
I'm not
like
gonna lie.
legitimately gross.
We separate here, Ralph. I
really? You don't like White Castle either?
No.
I can eat 100 of those things.
No, they were so disgusting and greasy. I had zero desire to. They had like these little chicken ring things, which weren't bad. They were. I don't know why they felt the need to put their chicken nuggets in rings, but they were fine.
Speaking of rings, we have a couple teams left here in the bracket that have a potential.
We have a better conversation going on.
We've talked enough about this.
Come on, man.
UCLA, Ring City is now no longer with us. Thank you. Heaven forbid. I would argue, if we're going to just one last little thing, is that the turnovers were the only thing that were keeping that game close. Like UCLA was playing some ferocious defense.
Yes.
And when that effort and ability finally gave out, so too did the UCLA Bruins. UConn has looked impressive in beating Tom Izzo and the Michigan State Spartans in a 2-3 matchup, and now face the hardest challenge, the Duke Blue Devils, who have been flirting with losing all throughout their journey here. Of course, we're able to get over the St. John's hump, and now we just continue to find out that the East quarter of the bracket was just coach central. Like that was going to be where talent is dispersed evenly. It was weird how all of the coaches that you have associated with greatness in basketball, college basketball, were all just kind of clustered in over there. And we're seeing it with a Duke UConn final appearance for a bid for the Final Four. Do you see that as a close game, Luke?
Honestly, I'm not sure if I do. I never want to discount Duke, but the thing that I'm noticing here, and it's a great adage we have, good teams win. Do you know what great teams do?
Lose? I don't know.
Great teams cover. Great teams cover. Duke only won by 6 in the first round
Against Siena.
And they ended up winning against TCU, and I do believe they ended up covering against TCU. At least
one would hope at a 23-point
I would
victory.
hope that in the second round it wasn't that. However, again, they didn't cover against St. John's, which, by the way, if you had tailed that bet following our Facebook one, you would have won that one. And I don't know right now what I'm seeing here, the opening line, Duke minus 5.5. And I can tell you right now what tomorrow's bet's going to be.
I'll take Duke.
You'll take Duke minus 5.5?
Duke's gonna win the whole thing
against UConn?
Yes, it's gonna be Duke, Arizona.
I'm taking UConn plus 5, and I'm taking UConn money line, to be perfectly honest. But I'm definitely taking UConn plus 5.5.
I will warn you, Luke. If you take this dinner bet, it's a bit much more than in and out.
I'm not playing that game.
I don't do appetizer bets. Yeah, he can't even afford that.
He's over here doing barbecue for lunch. I'm not doing.
No, that was somebody else enjoying barbecue. He enjoys Arrowhead Grill.
Yeah. I'm not playing that that game. But no, I do believe Duke will. It's going to be their toughest match, and they haven't been playing particularly well in their not toughest matches. They were down, I think, 6 with like 10 minutes to go against St. John's. They were able to crawl out of that. I just don't know if they can continue to do it every single round. I'm personally taking UConn here.
You're just taking UConn in the points. Do you find that this is that UConn to win?
Yes, I would take UConn money line as well. Like I believe that UConn will beat Duke. Okay. I don't think Duke can continue to do what they have done so far through 3 games this tournament against UConn.
And how about you? Who are you taking?
I think I'm still going to go with Duke.
Me too.
UConn, trust me, did what they needed to do. Brush that off. But I don't know about Duke in the points. That's where we kind of differ. I think I'm fine with UConn in the points. Where I divert from you, though, is that Duke has the requisite talent to withstand the waves that UConn has built as an overall roster. UConn, they kind of go as their shooting goes. We saw that in the UCLA matchup. We saw that in Michigan. Michigan has a stout defense.
Michigan State.
I'm sorry. Yes, you're absolutely right. Michigan State. That is a very specific specification.
Especially with Michigan still in it.
Yes. But Duke, I think, has a multitude of ways to beat you offensively, whereas UConn feels like they just need to outshoot you, and that they're traumatized into coached well defense. So. I'm going to go with Duke here. I think that they're rife to be upset as I didn't have them going to the championship, but I still don't think that they're championship caliber, but I think that they can overcome a number 2 seed UConn.
You know what's great about my position here? I win either way because in my bracket I have Duke winning it all. So I've set myself up to be a winner regardless now.
I see.
That's how you play the game, folks. It's how you play the game.
I've got Duke. I'm going to give you my Final Four.
Oh,
and then you guys can give us your Final Four. I have Duke, I have Illinois, I have Arizona, and I have Michigan.
So you're just taking the higher seed
I have all
everywhere?
the favorites.
Yeah.
Yes. I love Arizona. I think Arizona is surprising everybody. This looks like a different squad. I think they'll be in the final against Duke. Michigan's strong. I think they'll beat Tennessee. Illinois, I think, has been solid, and they took down your Houston pick. And I like Duke.
Yeah, I have Michigan winning it all. So we have Michigan for me. I hope, I need Arizona to win, because if a Boilermaker, which who the hell knows what a freaking Boilermaker is?
It's pretty self-explanatory. It's someone who makes boilers.
It's for trains.
What do
for steam
you?
trains?
Nobody needs it.
it's
It's
a drink.
outdated. It'd be like,
Or it's a drink.
yeah. Well, now the drink is based.
I would rather be a Boilermaker than be one of 100 Wildcats.
I enjoy it.
Have some creativity.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Be original.
Arizona, I hope wins.
They will.
Duke, and if there's an upset, I actually do believe in the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Oh, the Hawkeyes.
The Hawkeyes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
There.
see that.
My final four: UConn, Arizona. I'm going to go Michigan as well. And my heart wants to say the Hawkeyes. However, I'm going to go with my head here, and I will go with Illinois. I think after beating Houston by 10, I think that they have proven that they can win the south side of the bracket.
Who's your final?
My final, I think right now is
Wait, who'd you say beat Houston by 10?
Illinois.
Illinois beat them by
10.
10. I'm
65
sorry.
to
I
10.
have the wrong score.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, don't ever correct me.
I couldn't.
Yeah, I
Never
know.
could.
Mr. Right over here. I think my final right now is probably UConn,
Say it.
Arizona.
Yep.
Yeah, baby.
But I will say, I think whoever wins between, because I believe if I'm reading this right, it will be Arizona, Michigan
Yes.
in the final four. I think whoever wins that
Is the true champion.
is going to
Wow.
win the championship. So I think if Arizona can get past Michigan, they'll win. I think if Michigan wins, they win. But I think it's coming from that side of the bracket.
And what's your 4 or your 2?
My 2 is going to be Michigan and Duke.
And you have who winning?
Michigan.
Hmm.
I like size.
So I'm Arizona Duke, and I said Duke, but I'm kind of swaying toward Arizona because there's something about this team. I feel they could win it all this year. I just feel like this is their year.
I think we've said it on this show. Like, I think to its maximum potential, I think Arizona has the highest ceiling. It just, I have, especially entering the tournament, hadn't seen it with any set of consistency. Thus far, they haven't been really pushed. And one could argue that's also part of just how dominant the team can be. We'll see.
Same thing with Michigan. And I think that's why it's going to be that bracket is those two teams. I think their biggest test will be in the against each other. And whoever can win that match is going to end up taking the whole
So
thing.
is this NFC Championship heavy?
I think kind of, yeah. Like
Really?
I don't know if I put it quite on that level because there's just so much talent in Duke, and UConn is just UConn. They've already won 2 out of the last 3, I believe.
Okay.
So like, I mean, I could for sure, I don't want to discount them. However, I would definitely lean heavily towards Arizona, Michigan.
So Tanner's all over YouTube. He says In-N-Out merch is wild, which I think it is. I would say you paid more for that hat than you will get for your lunch.
That's true. That's probably true.
So
That's
that probably
probably
was
true,
that was a bad thing. And he said cover. I think he's talking about UConn.
Yep.
And then he said UConn and the points all the way. So
He gets it. He understands.
yeah, he's like your little parrot. We're going to kind of start calling him the parrot.
When you say nothing but facts, when you spit the truth, it's easy
I can
to
make
see
my
why
parrot
people.
say whatever I want it to say.
Yeah.
True or not?
I only speak the truth.
Speaking of spitting up all over yourself, if we go to MLB and opening day has arrived.
No, wait, where's his value pick?
Oh, I'm sorry. Continue.
Dare you?
Don't be
I
jumping
had
ahead.
I'm sorry. I had a good transition, so I just
It
wanted
was a
to use
bad
it.
transition.
It was a fine transition.
Sucked.
I'll-
It absolutely sucked.
It was okay. It didn't suck as bad as O'Neal Cruz, but if you want to hit me with it, Ralph,
Oh, yeah. I get to hit you. I like hitting you. If I can find it.
I'm calling the police.
Better than spitting on you.
That's very true.
Yeah.
The books have set the lines.
The public is chasing favorites, but he's looking for value.
Value.
It's time for the right angle.
Dun, dun, dun.
There you go.
I'm waiting for you to
gotta
record my
record
dun,
it,
dun,
I
dun,
know.
and just add it in. And my feedback of the value.
I'll just get Tanner to record it. I mean,
That's true.
you'll probably see him when you get home. So.
It's called appreciating our viewers. So I'm going for the first time, which is also can be our segue into MLB if somebody hadn't cut us off here.
I know, I'm a jerk.
I'm going baseball for our
Baseball.
right value. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I'm going for tonight. We have Dodgers Diamondbacks.
Okay.
What?
I gotta hear this.
You got I
Yeah, Ralph all buckled up and ready to go.
I want to see if this is gonna get posted or not.
I think it will. I'm
And
going.
if I don't post it,
I'm going. I think you'll post this.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident.
all right.
I'm going over on 9 runs scored.
Wow.
That's fair.
It's minus 105. It's not great value, but I wanted to. I'm that for sure
It's my
on
value pick. It's just not great value.
it. I mean, it's fine value because I'm pretty sure it's going to hit.
Don't give confidence to people that way. But go
I'm
ahead.
pretty sure this one is such a slam dunk for me that I kind of have to say it, especially because I wanted to ease our way into baseball. It is hard to find like true value with baseball unless you just like start looking through like home runs and stuff like that. But
Sure.
I wanted to kind of ease us into baseball here with a nice little softball pitch.
No, please don't toss softball. We fired our last host for that.
Oh, okay, you're right. I'm sorry. I'll do better. So we have Erod taking the mound for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Right.
The Diamondbacks whose bullpen has already failed them twice in 2 games. Twice. That's 100% fail rate. Including in the first game, the bullpen giving up, I believe, 4 runs almost instantly. And then giving up maybe another 2 at the end of the game, if I believe. But it was bad.
In game 1.
In game 1,
Yeah.
yes. And last night, they already hit 9. And I think that was after a very good start. And so, sorry there. I just think that this game is going to be just batting practice for the Dodgers. Unless Erod can really continue what he did in the World Baseball Classic, which I just don't have a ton of faith in.
Just pitched the game of his life.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of faith that he's going to continue that. Erod has not been particularly great in a D-backs uniform. He has his moments, but consistently he's just proven that he can't really go particularly deep in games if he does have a good game. And if he doesn't have a good game, he just kind of gets blown out. And I think that this bullpen is just not particularly great to begin with, but also, again, they have no left-handed. They have no lefties. The entire bullpen, there's not a single lefty in that bullpen.
Great job, management.
And against the Dodgers, that's it's not what you're looking for. So I'm going the over on 9 runs. They hit it in game 1. They matched it in game 2. I think Erod's probably going to get hit early, and I think the bullpen's not going to be able to stop the bleeding. And I do think that this Arizona offense will be able to put up a few runs of their own. I think that we could see a 6-4. I think we could see a 7-5. I think we could see something like that, 7-3 even. I think that we'll be able to hit this.
So what you're saying is that you do not believe that it would be the Diamondbacks 9-1 hitting this.
I do not. I do not
But
believe
there
that.
is that possibility.
There
No,
is,
there's
and
really
if
not.
and if that happens, you still hit the bet.
If they hit your number, it will be one-sided, but it won't be the one side you just mentioned. Glass now has looked really good
Yes.
in the spring, especially at the very end. He looks phenomenal. The Dodger bullpen looks really good. The Diamondbacks look like the Diamondbacks, and their bullpen looks like they're in mid-season form. They're terrible.
Yeah.
That bullpen's just horrendous, and it's going to continue to be. So I can see this as a 9-1 Dodger victory. I don't see the Diamondbacks getting more than a run or two, to be honest with you, in this game. I just don't.
Well,
We'll see.
They've hit 2 or more runs in every game of the season.
Yeah, no,
so
I get it. I don't see. I see 2 is their ceiling in this game tonight.
okay,
That's my opinion.
clip
but
that too.
Clip it. Clip it.
Can't wait for the 3-run home run in the first inning.
What? Let's talk. Since we're in baseball now.
Yeah, let's move it along.
Speaking of
Speaking
home
of,
runs being given up.
Well, I was going to say, speaking of guys that couldn't get out of the first inning, I mean, Paul Skenes. Wow.
Woo!
What happened there?
Let's add the context here.
Yeah, add it.
We don't need to pretend like this is on Paul Skenes.
Oh, we don't?
We don't.
Okay.
Did you not see any of those clips?
I saw.
You didn't see O'Neill play the worst 2 balls in the outfield of all time?
Some of them.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was a bright, sunny day.
That was like all of the runs were from O'Neill not knowing how to play center field.
Hey, Ralph, I'm curious. So when O'Neill Cruz messed up defense, which I'll give you, how many runners were already on base?
The first time or the second time?
I don't know.
I believe it was the first time.
The first time? I don't.
Was it
I actually?
were the bases loaded?
I think they were loaded.
I think
actually.
they were loaded. Oh my goodness.
And I'm sorry. What happens if he catches the ball?
Just saying.
I believe that's
out?
an out.
Yeah, battery would be out. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
I'm saying it was a double Dutch bust down to a dumpster fire of an outing by Paul Skenes, who we're talking about in Pittsburgh. Of course, supposed to be the ace of all aces, and just did not open well.
And he is the ace of all aces. He's him and Yamamoto.
Yeah. I do think that Paul Skenes does have a lot of talent, and I just love ribbing him. But that being said, it was just a bad outing.
But do you guys think, and I saw this angle, not the right angle. This is a different angle.
This is a different angle. This is an obtuse angle.
Okay.
People said, or some people have said, do you think the WBC has something to do with this because of how it took him out of his routine to get ready for the season, got him into those situations? Do you think maybe he was slightly emotionally taxed or something from that experience that he took into game 1 and looked so bad? Do you think that's possible? Is it likely?
I don't think.
Is this a WBC impact to his first outing?
If you asked me, did the WBC impact was it 0 or something? I think it's something. I don't know if I would say that it's the entirety of the cause. I don't think he's going out there with arm fatigue in game 1, even after having pitched 4 games where, yes, the intensity is much different, right? Like
that's what I think.
He could have pitched maybe 20 to 40 more pitches in a spring training normal rotation, but the intensity is really what the matter is. Like he could get homered up during all of spring training in a grapefruit league, and just been homered left and right, but he's working on a curveball angle that he's just trying to really figure out, whatever, and he's just throwing lollipops up there. The difference is in World Baseball Classic, you're not allowed, you're warming up your arm, but you are not allowed to create. You're not allowed to work on things.
Tanner says can't be having a WBC hangover as a star pitcher. So not really a hangover. I think you started hitting on it. And here's what I'll give you the examples. So Paul Skenes, who pitches for arguably one of the lower tier teams in the MLB. Not a whole lot to get excited about when you get on the mound for the Pirates, right? Except for your paycheck.
Sure.
There's not a whole lot going on, right?
And even then, he's still in his rookie deal.
He went from an extremely competitive environment where they were playing for something to this opening day where you just know you're on a team that sucks. And this is just not great. It's not easy to get up for. Versus like a Yamamoto who went from the WBC in Japan, who's playing for something there, right to Dodger Stadium opening day where there was a ton of energy and you're playing for something, and it seemed to transfer really well. But for Skenes, it didn't seem to transfer, and I think maybe it's because of the emotional difference from this to the Pirates. What do you think about that?
I'm kind of in the same boat as Phil. If the answers the WBC had 0 impact or a ton of impact or some impact, the answer is I had some impact. I'll say it again. If O'Neill Cruz knows how to do his job properly, he gets out of the first inning and the score's 2-2. Like that, this entire thing looks 100 times better. He gets out of the first inning. It's 2-2. He continues on, he was at a lot of pitches already, so he probably doesn't go too much further. But we look at this in a completely different lens than what we are doing right now. And I mean, I'm sure emotionally and mentally he is kind of thinking that, but also as a pitcher, I don't think that it's getting to him that much because you're playing in New York. So there was that energy. It might not have all been rooting towards you, but you were playing in a stadium that actually cared about what was happening.
Yeah.
And I think that you can absolutely, like, as a pitcher, you have to mentally be locked in every single week anyways. You can't let that my team
Which
sucks.
is hard.
Yeah, and it is hard, but I mean, his team sucked last year. His team's going to suck this year. It's probably going to suck next year when he gets traded to the Yankees or the Dodgers or somewhere better. And then he'll finally be on a good team. But at the end of the day, I don't really think it was the WBC. I think, if anything, I think what mentally is going to take him out of the rest of the year is seeing that his team is not going to back him up. Literally game 1, inning 1, he couldn't get out of the first inning without his team not being able to back him up when he needed them. Because you're right. He let him, bases got loaded. That was on him. Absolutely. He had already let through 1 run. And then when he needed his team to back him up, when he gave 2 flyouts to center field, his team failed him back-to-back times. And I think that mentally is going to weigh on him more than anything else.
I would agree with you. I think it's hard for a pitcher because, obviously being the dad of a pitcher and being around baseball the way I am, if you're on a team that you know the guys behind you are not going to support you, it makes it really hard to be effective all the time, because you go out there and give your everything just to have it taken away from you by guys behind you that can't play. Right. So it could be very frustrating as a pitcher, and pitching is a very emotional experience. It's a lot of, there's a lot of mental side to pitching. They're living their own little world. And when the guys behind you can't perform, man, it pisses you off and you kind of lose everything inside you. So I kind of agree with that take. So I don't know. I guess you're right.
As a trail off from this, though, I do think one weird aberration that I think comes specifically from MLB more than I'd say any of the other professional sports, at least to my feeling and knowledge, is that MLB has the biggest form of amnesia pills, where there is an absolute massive hype train and importance on opening day that just completely goes away, like day and game 2. But like, it is such a meeting a moment, and it's almost like a World Series equivalent of importance and effort and energy and attention that I don't feel doesn't happen with NFL week 1 across the league. I don't think it happens with NBA game 1 across the league. Opening day with MLB is such an important event that they tout, that they have. Like it's its own branding. It's opening day across. It is an honor to be pitcher number 1, to throw out the first pitch of the season. It has its own insignia on across the league. Why were they going to ever play in Pittsburgh? No, they are playing in New York as much as they can. And you couldn't tell me, like, I would barely remember what happened opening day last season, because it's one of those things that it gets so blown up and is of such importance in the moment that it's happening and leading up to, and then it's just quickly forgotten.
I would agree that I have this written down, people put way too much stock in the first game of the year in
opening
baseball.
Day. It's so
one of 162. Yeah. They put all this stock in it. It's emotional stock. And I think it comes from, I wouldn't experience this too much, but it comes from people where their teams aren't very good and they don't have anything. No, think about it.
I knew.
But it's true. If you have a team that you know is not going to be very good and you don't have a whole lot to cheer about throughout the summer, you're going to put more stock in the beginning because you're going to hope, can my team go and start winning right away? Can it get me into it? Or is it just going to be another long summer of nothing? Right. So they put all this stock into that first game for whatever reason, where I would argue with you is in the NFL, I think that first game deserves the stock it gets, because I think it does get a lot of stock in that first game because it's 1 of 17. Right. It's important. It's very important, where 1 of 162 really means nothing. It really means absolutely nothing.
I think the literal standalone game is the only one that meets that moment for the MLB. And that's only because you have the champion. Like I remember a couple of the, I remember the Chiefs losing to the Lions and being an announcement and showcase to the world that the Lions have arrived. I remember the New England Patriots losing to the Chiefs the year that Jamal Charles was coming. No, I'm sorry. Kareem Hunt made his showcase as a rookie. There are these games that get highlighted, and they set the tenor and tempo for the rest of the year. But I say that for MLB, it's across the league that everybody kind of has that highlight for opening day, and then it just quickly dwindles away.
But in the NFL, if our team loses week 1, you start seeing announcers going, "What's wrong with them?" Week 1, right? Because they put so much stock in it. Where in the MLB, it's like you just said, it's totally different. But I'll bet you, you're not really Diamondback fans, right? I guess you are.
Yeah.
Right.
So you had all this, going rah going into the season, right? Now you're 0-2, probably going to go 0-3. If I had to guess, as a Diamondback fan, now you're deflated already. And it's only 3 of 162. It means nothing. But you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, here we go again.
To your point, Ralph, when do you buy validity in the results? Because we had this last year, right? Where I didn't buy the validity in the Atlanta Braves having an early losing streak.
In September.
So September, at that point, you can start to solidify.
Remember last year when we had a certain co-host on the air and all he would do was whine and complain about how bad the Dodgers pitching staff was and how it's going to destroy them. And I would look at him and say, just stop. At the end of all this and through the injuries, when we get to where we need to get at the end of September, they'll be fine. And that's when it counts. And that's exactly what happened, right? I'm not too worried about it in April.
That's a Dodgers fan talking.
I was going to say,
for
that's
everyone
so
else who doesn't have $2 billion on the payroll, that's a very
$2.5 billion.
That's not at all the mindset that
right.
anyone else is going to have.
No, but they don't take stock in it from the first week of the season.
No, but Philip's asking, when do they take stock?
Okay, so if the average fan that doesn't have a great baseball team, let me refocus.
Yeah.
Let's look at the other 29 teams.
If I'm a Diamondback fan, because his dark horse.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm a Diamondback fan. I'm thinking we have a dark horse opportunity. When do I start taking stock into our performance?
Yes.
Probably toward the end of May. If I don't see that we've got something going on and we've got a pretty good flow going by the end of May where I can look and go, okay, we can get through the summer with this team and get some wins on our belt and do some damage. I start to go, it's time to start a fire sale, right? By the time we hit the deadline. So I'd say end of May, right beginning of June is when I start taking stock.
You agree?
I think it depends on how your team is made up. I think the Diamondbacks are probably a bad example in this case because I think for the Diamondbacks, we talked about this a little bit. You're just trying to survive until July. That's all you're trying to do. You
got to see something.
I mean, yeah, you got to see something. Obviously, if they get to June and they have 10 wins, yeah, you're obviously you're not there. But like, as long as you can stay within 5 to 10 games of 500, I think, honestly, and you're in July, you're then hopefully going to get Corbin Burns back. You're going to get Justin Martinez back. You're going to get Saul Frank, I believe, is coming back at the end of this year. Like, you're going to start seeing major pieces come back. Probably in July is what you're hoping for, and then you can make that push. I think every team's going to be
You're saying All-Star break.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you can go a little earlier than that. I think April.
End of April. That's why I think it depends on like the Pirates.
Because I want like at least 3 series. Because right now, we talked about this before the show. American League West, your Los Angeles Angels, who aren't even in Los Angeles, are leading at 2-0. And all that shows you is that they're just better in this series.
Like, you're excited if you're an Angel fan. Right now, if you're an Angel fan waking up 2-0, you're like,
they're on pace.
Pumping your chest out, going, that's right, we're 2-0. Now, you're probably going to be 2-20.
They know that they're frauds.
But you're still pumping your chest.
They're on pace to be undefeated right now, though. That's the important part. No, and that's why I think, like, for other teams like that who don't necessarily like have that plan already set forward, like, I think most D-backs fans came into the season thinking how I thought. You survive until the All-Star break and hope that your pitchers will be healthy enough to come back and help you. Most fans, I think, are going to basically, like you said, I'd say like end of April, early May is probably when the average baseball fan starts to like believe the results that they see.
You know what makes Diamond fans feel bad right now? And this is not a dig. This is fact.
This is going to be a dig.
No, it's really not a dig. I like the Diamondbacks. I don't dig on them. I don't consider
literally every chance.
I don't consider them a rival, so I don't really dig hard. But I think
that's a backhanded compliment.
No,
by the way,
it's just they're not the Giants. They're not the Padres. They're just the Diamondbacks. But I think what gets them right now is the fact that they've always felt since that one playoff series against the Dodgers when they went to the World Series 3 years ago that they had the Dodgers number, and I think they're starting to realize with everything the Dodgers have done the last few years, they don't have it anymore. The Dodgers just roll right through them for the most part because They're not on the same level. They're just not. And that goes for the Dodgers versus a lot of teams, not just the Diamondbacks. But they're just not on the same level. So I think it's disheartening for them when they go into LA and they get 2 or 3 losses. It's rough for them to come back from that a little bit.
I think every Diamondbacks fan was expecting like exactly what is happening.
Well, Blissful Hayes on Facebook says it's laughable. The Diamondbacks don't have any left-handed relievers on the roster. They're even trying to win.
They're not trying to win.
He's right. What a ridiculous, absolute ridiculous way to put your roster together to not have a lefty on there.
Yeah, and here's the thing. They had lefties. Like, I do want to clarify this. They had brought in lefties. It wasn't like they intentionally went into this thinking, yeah, we don't need a left-hander. Like, they brought in several lefties. The problem was they ended up all just being bad.
But then you got to find someone.
Absolutely. And I think they will. Like, I don't think you're like, I would bet a lot of money. They optioned a couple left-handers down who just had like a few problems that they're hoping will be able to come back and be their left-handers. But if that doesn't work out, I'm sure that they will go through. They've publicly said this can't happen. Like, they are going to fix it.
They burned their lefty in the bullpen yesterday for one batter for Kyle Tucker. They brought him in, they burned him in one batter, and he's gone.
You mean Ginkle?
No, it wasn't Ginkle. I can't remember who it was. But they brought him in, and they made the comment that they were burning him for this one moment.
Okay.
And it was before that. It was in the 8th inning. It was like in the 6th or 5th inning. I think it was in the 5th inning.
I think the one nice thing, though,
that's stupid.
Well, I think the one nice thing about the Diamondbacks is that I do believe that if they were to reach April and they were able to succeed in spite of their Achilles heel, that they will. It's nicer to be on that end of the spectrum to say, like, this is the completing jigsaw piece we need, as opposed to, I don't know, being another team. I'm trying to, like, where you're like, we could use a hitter, we could use another reliever out of the bullpen, we could use a wish list. However, it's just a matter of whether or not that they can overcome that. Additionally, one more thing I want to say is, haha at the Astros for losing to the Angels, going to there. But it's funny because it's just the luck of the draw sometimes on where you meet people. Because Mike Trout was the one who killed the Astros over there. And it's just, that this is the part of the season that he's healthy for. Like, it's just unfortunate that it's so funny that the Angels and the Dodgers have pose the same problem in some small way to other teams, to where if you get them early in the year and late in the year, those are the two times that you don't want them. You want them in the meaty middle where they're resting guys, where they got injured. Yeah, where they're hurting, where they're having to get through their depth, where they're gettable. I find that to be hilarious that both teams from Los Angeles.
We're totally overreacting, right?
Yeah. But it's all we have to react. It's all we have to react on. And I do think that basically all of the first 2 months of baseball is just overreacting.
You'll see trends in the first 2 months, but I mean, you're right. That's what you brought up at your first point, right? We overreact to the beginning of the baseball season.
You know what's not being overreacted to enough?
What? Go ahead. What?
Shohei Ohtani meriting a $75 souvenir cup. Did he kiss each cup on its way out on the lips, and then you can take the kiss with you to the dugout? Like, what? $75
plus tax, $80.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
It's a nice cup.
It's a nice cup.
I saw this and thought it was fake. I really did think it was fake, but it's not.
You know what's also funny is that you told me, you're like, but it comes with a free refill. You think?
All season.
No.
Yes. It's free refills all season.
I don't think that's true.
We need to check.
I saw a video on it last night because I was researching it, trying to figure out why are they charging $75 for this cup. It's thicker plastic. It's a nice cup. Not $75.
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
And then someone had said, well, it's because you're allowed, if you bring it back, you get free refills all year. And I'm like, if that's true, okay, I feel a little better about it.
I had misread I must have seen a different article that was wrong, because I saw one that said you only get free refills that day. Which would be, but no, I am seeing this article now where it says all season.
So that makes me feel a little better.
That is a little bit better, yes.
But I have to bring this dang cup to every game now.
Well,
I got to pay $45 to park. Think about it, $45 to park. If I want to sit in the nosebleeds, that's another $50. But I got my cup.
Hey, if you're somebody like me who likes to drink, but like drink regular souvenir, that's pretty good.
If I'm Ohtani, I would go to the Dodgers and say, I don't want this. You can't charge $75 for a cup in my image. I don't want you doing this. It makes me look bad. That would be my response as Ohtani if I saw that happening.
That's an interesting one.
Because I don't want that attached to me as a person or a player. I don't want that. I want you to think because it has my image on it or my name to attach to it, you've got to pay 10 times what anyone else would pay for any other cup.
I would say the free refills all season definitely takes the
Still bugs
sting
me.
out of it. It doesn't alleviate it to nothing, but it helps certainly. I mean, look at the San Francisco Giants.
The Gigantes.
The Gigantes. Are you familiar with the 9x9 challenge, Ralph?
No.
Oh,
The 9x9x9 challenge. So the challenge is, and it was popularized last season, maybe even 2 seasons ago.
it's been around for several years.
Several
now.
years? Okay.
Yeah.
But the Giants finally decided to get on this. And to speak about the value, at least you're getting something worth that $75 to where if you were a season ticket holder, honestly, that cup's going to pay for itself. It's going to pay for itself. So
Season ticket holder, yeah.
Yes. But for the Giants, they did a 9x9 challenge. And what this is, Ralph, is that for each inning, you drink 1 beer and you eat a hot dog. And so if you can do it for every inning, and by the end, you're gone.
To be clear, you don't have to actually do it 1 per inning. It's just you have to eat 9 hot dogs and 9 beers before the
that's
end.
fair.
Yeah, you can do.
So there's
you
no
can
time frame. It's just for the whole game.
Yeah, you have 9 innings to do it.
Okay.
So the San Francisco Giants seeing
That's
this
tough.
trend. Yeah. No, it is. And you see people from the beginning and the end of the videos, they are just sloshed.
How many ounces of beer?
It's a beer. It's a beer per eat is the
So
original
a 12 ounce
challenge.
beer.
I mean, whatever they're selling, you go and you just buy a beer.
Is it a big hot dog or a small hot dog?
It's a regular hot dog.
Okay.
And now
Okay.
what's getting flack, however, is the Giants have offered their take on it. And they're offering you a 9x9x9 box, which is 9 mini dogs, 9 glasses,
Okay.
and 1 beer. All for $55.
That's
And the
actually
one beer does not even fill up to a regular pour for each of these mini little things. It is the most absurd, like slap in the face. I'd almost wish you didn't offer it because these little mini dogs, these little Chihuahuas dogs are just taking up space, and you're forcing me to pay you $55.
So they're small.
And it's for 1 beer too. Yes.
It's
Let me show you.
It's a 24-ounce beer.
Look at those mini dogs. Look at those mini weenies.
That doesn't look horrible.
And you get 9 of them.
Yeah, I mean,
Here's the thing. The deal itself is not bad. The issue comes when you try to associate it with this challenge that where you are supposed to be eating 9 full-size hot dogs and having 9 full beers. Like, so once you try to repurpose that into, hey, here's 9 tiny ones and here's 1 beer that you can sip on throughout the whole 9 innings, that's the issue. Overall, I actually think it's like a pretty decent value. But it's not a challenge. It's not the 9x9x9 challenge.
It's not the challenge. So if you eat this and drink this, you get nothing?
No.
They won't pay for your DUI? Nothing?
No.
Okay. I think they should pay for the DUI.
I mean, we should see what Dylan Brooks does, but
if you're also though, if drinking 1 beer over the span of an entire baseball game leads to you getting a DUI, that's a whole nother issue.
But having a 9x9 challenge that you talked about, that's a liability. If you tell fans to do this challenge and they get free, and then all of a sudden they leave your park and get a DUI or get in an accident,
I think
that can fall on you.
I think the true insult is the mini hot dogs to me, because the AA affiliate for the Diamondbacks, because you're right.
You focus on the wieners.
No, because as
that's-
always.
The size of the wieners,
Yeah, it's the
especially.
size.
Yeah,
Very important.
it matters on how you
You
use
must
it.
be engaged. Go ahead.
Absolutely. The AA affiliate for the Diamondbacks offers a 9x9x9 challenge
Okay.
with full-size hot dogs and 9 things, or even just a hot dog and a beer goes for $9.99, right? And then the 9 for 9 challenge that they offer with full-size everything is $90, and it gets knocked down to $60.75 on Thursdays.
Thursday.
So when you look at it side by side comparison, for me, it's the size of the weenie that tells it all. It's the mini hot dogs that is just an insult to you as a paying customer to say $55 for an insult take of a challenge. If I'm going to take on this challenge, I want the challenge. Let me at least pay for it myself. It's outrageous.
That would be $180 if you paid for it yourself.
Yeah, and these mini dogs, like, what are you doing? Are we on the kids menu? Like, what are we doing?
I mean, at this point, if you walk into an MLB game this year, I mean, you're spending so much money, it's ridiculous. Just to park, to get in the game, the food you're buying, your $10 bets, they ain't gonna work in these games.
Well, that's why to go back to the Ohtani thing, at least you're getting value there, and more importantly, moreover, being amongst the top teams in MLB to repurpose profits directly back into the payroll, I think is part of why you feel, as a Dodger fan, comfortable paying for upcharge. You see where your money goes, just to bring it all home. I mean, now, you said you had some comments.
Yeah, I was going to say the Dodgers also just gave naming rights away to their field. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yes.
Got to pay the salary somehow, right?
It's true. Who ended up buying it?
Some
Japanese
I know. Some company.
They put a big old sign out in the center field. They've got it everywhere now. I mean, they're all in. Ola Kid or Ola. I can't even. You guys could probably look it up. I don't even know
Uniqlo?
how much. Uniqlo. That's what it is. I guess they sell clothes. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a Japanese apparel company.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But man, I'm sure they paid a pretty penny for that naming right.
You know what's so stupid though? Who's going to say Uniqlo? Who?
People will look them up. I looked them up because I was like, who the heck is this?
Okay, you're going to look it up.
Right.
The novelty will wear off.
Anything.
The novelty will wear off next year. But who's going to say, "Oh, the Dodgers are playing not at Dodger Stadium. They're playing at Uniqlo Field." Nobody believes that. It's Dodger Stadium.
It's just money. They do it in football too.
I just find it to be.
They name the fields in football.
But some of those stick.
USC plays at the Coliseum, but they play on American Airlines or United Airlines Field, whatever that is.
The best branding deal in football is Heinz Field. That was a partnership that I don't even think that it happens now, but everybody still calls it Heinz Field. My thought has always been, if you are the first one and you marry yourself to the field and the team, and you're the first one to brand it, that is the most successful partnerships, because then you have a chance. Kind of like how they used to play at Candlestick, but then once the 49ers moved, I do associate it as Levi's Field.
Okay. I want to stay on topic. Since we're talking about wieners, I'd like to talk about PCA. So Pete Crow Armstrong, right? So we're going to finish up MLB with this. So some background. Pete Crow Armstrong he's an 818er, which I'm an 818er. What that means is I grew up in the 818 area code in LA, right? San Fernando Valley. So that encompasses an area of like Studio City, Van Nuys, North Hollywood, where I grew up, all these areas out there. So he's an 818er. He went to Harvard Westlake, which is a very rich private school. I know I went to Notre Dame, which was a very rich private school. So he grew up very wealthy, probably had good, had money. He's that kid, right? So he now plays for the Cubs, as we all know. So he came out with a statement. Here's his statement. He says, "I love Chicago more and more. The people are great. They give a sheesh, an S-H-I-T. They aren't just baseball fans who go to the game like Dodgers fans to take pictures and whatever. They're paying attention. They care." So he comes out and says this. This is an 818er saying this, right? So instantly attacks Dodger fans. Realizes, I better clarify this, because you never know. Maybe one day I might want to play for the Dodgers. So he comes out with this clarification. Let me play the clarification for you.
I didn't get a chance to really like back that statement up with the fact that that has nothing to do with Doc. That has nothing to do with Shohei, any of the players over there. I love Mookie Betts. I look up to him like crazy. Freddie's only ever been great to me. If anything, those are the guys that have given these fans a reason to be fans. And, I grew up going to Dodgers games when they weren't always good, when they had like Manny Wood pop up, but it's like they go in phases. And I remember all fans fight and stuff, but like putting the Giants fan in the coma, like that stuck with me as a kid, like just little things, and sitting in the stands, just nasty stuff goes on. I didn't always experience that at other ballparks, but like I said, that has nothing to do with who's actually on the field for them. I love playing against them, and I just love what they're doing right now, because they're creating a dynasty. I want to take them down too. And again, I love it.
I have so much to say, but before I do, those of you that are my age that know Jim Rome, I know these two doilies here they're not very happy with Jim Rome. They don't think he's relevant. I still think he has some relevance. But I'm gonna play Jim Rome
for the older crowd.
Yeah, for the Facebook crowd.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play Jim
Banana
Rome's
nut
response.
recipes.
Here's Jim Rome's response to this ridiculous comment of PCA's.
Look, I know that everybody hates the Dodgers right now with the passion of a million burning sun. I know the Dodgers are everyone's enemy right now, and everybody is convinced that the Dodgers are ruining baseball, and everybody is convinced that the Dodgers are everything that's wrong with the world today. But since when did it spread to Dodger fan? Dodger fan doesn't care. Dodger fan doesn't give a bleep. Dodger fan is ruining the sport. Dodger fan is all that's wrong in the world. You mean the Dodgers that have the highest attendance in the sport by more than 6,000 people per game over the Yankees. But it's just Dodger fans showing up to eat Dodger dogs and drink soju and take pictures of themselves for IG. Even if that were true, who the hell cares? What does that have to do with anything at all? Their team is amazing, but our fans are better. What kind of take is that? The team is incredible. Yeah, but your fans suck. Your fans are there for the wrong reason. I mean, what are you really saying here anyway? Our fans are better than your fans. What are you, 9? Our fans are better than your fans. Congratulations. Our fans are better than your fans. Put that on the back of your baseball card. Put that on your resume. You can't beat the team, so you're beating on the fans instead. Is that the idea? Even though you're an LA native? Even though you're an 818er? Right? That's messed up, dude.
So he gets it, right? He totally gets it. I know you guys don't get this, I can see.
This definitely isn't just an LA fan being bitter about being called out by somebody who's playing for a rival NL team.
But why? Okay, so a couple of things about PCA. Number one, you're a local dude. You're an 818er. Shut the hell up. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, screw Cubs fans instead.
You don't have to even talk about Dodger fans. Why did you even go there? This is not a topic you need to have. I mean, it sounds like you had a traumatic experience and you need a safe space because a Giant fan went into a coma one day at a Dodger stadium and then that really traumatized you.
Yeah.
I hope you're getting the therapy you need for that, because I can tell it's impacted your life and you're part of this generation where everything is bad and I need to be safe. Get over it, dude. Seriously, get over it. And you talk about how these things go in segments where I grew up and it was Manny Wood. And then, then they were good and then they were bad. Well, I hate to tell you, that goes for every sports teams. They go through periods where they could be, not all of them, but where they could be great and they could be champions. And then they go down to being not so good. It's called sports cycles. That's how it works, dude. Every team goes through it, dude. By the way, you're going to learn how to talk. It's and that's how you talk. It's ridiculous for a guy that went to Harvard Westlake. Your parents obviously had a lot of money. If I was your dad and you would have said those things, I would have called you up and smacked you across the face through the phone, because you don't talk bad about where you grew up from. You don't talk bad about the experience of the Dodger fan. Dodger fans are just enjoying what they have right now, and they have every right to do that. We've had our bad times, like you mentioned, and we're enjoying the good times. But what is wrong with that? That we don't leave early. We have 4 million in attendance last year. What did the Cubs have? 4 million in attendance. They're not there just for an IG pitcher. They're there because they love their team. They back their team and they want to see them win another championship, which they probably will, which the Cubs won't. Go be good to your Cub fans. I like Cub fans. You guys have a great historical team. You don't win a lot, but the history's there. I mean, go be part of that. Go try to win. I'm all about rivalries. I'm all about competition. I think that's great. But don't diss on Dodger fans where you came from, where you grew up. That's just ridiculous. You are now enemy number one. Just so you know, when you go to LA and you play the Dodgers, dude, I hate to see what's going to happen to you, because you are enemy number one to the LA Dodger fans right now. And they're going to give it to you every time you walk into that stadium. And if you ever want to become a Dodger, I know you tried to walk it back and tried to kiss everyone's butt in the organization with those comments.
It's actually pretty impressive.
It was a major kiss butt. May the Dodgers never give you that opportunity. I hope you never get the opportunity to play in LA where you're from, where you would hopefully want to play. They never give you that opportunity because of the way you just the fans. That was unacceptable. Anyway, I'm done. Go ahead. You guys can beat on me for that.
That's PCA calling him right now.
Yeah. PCA.
Yeah. I mean, this is such a non-story. Absolutely no one outside of LA cares. I tried to look up this story and I couldn't even find a headline for it.
Well, obviously your computer's broken.
No, I mean, if I specifically go PCA makes offhanded comment about Dodgers fans, it'll pop up. But when I actually try to Google him, it's just headlines about his contract, the contract he's signing so that he won't be a Dodger for the foreseeable future.
Right.
But even when that contract's up, 99% of Dodgers fans will be more than happy for him to come join the team. It's fine. It's a dude who said some offhanded comments one time. It's not a big deal. I think I don't think we should ever be okay with fans putting other fans in comas. I think it's okay to be anti putting fans in comas, Ralph. It's a weird stance to be okay with that.
The stance was more about get over the trauma, dude. They guarantee you they didn't give him trauma when he was young. That's ridiculous.
I mean, he was very clearly kind of, I mean, he said it tongue in cheek as a joke. I don't think he was trying to say he's going to therapy for it. But
anyway.
All right, I'll entertain the premise here. First of all, I do think it is distasteful to try and dim someone else's candle to make yours shine brighter. I don't think you have to say like, I think that there's a way to go about saying we have the best fans in all of baseball that nobody would be, as opposed to our fans are specifically better than the Reds fans. You know, like there's a way that one can tastefully accomplish both things without having to take a dump on somebody else's. But that being said, I've been a voice of reason as far as like saying that the Dodgers ownership is stupendous. The talent that they put on the field is absurdly exceptional, and that the way that they approach sports is to be commended because they keep pushing the boundaries of what it is, all in the name of excellence and winning. That being said, I do not like Dodgers fans.
They're the worst.
They are amongst.
They literally put people in comas.
They are the ability that you can have any sort of disillusionment just to say that like Dodgers fans are somehow innocent is completely naive and ignorant to the fact.
No fans are innocent. None at any ballpark. I've been to many of them. They're all the same.
How many of them have put other people in comas?
Happens all the time. Go to a Raider Chargers football game. I've been at Raider Chargers football games where I've seen guys stabbed two seats down from me.
I challenge you to find the WNBA Mercury game that ended in a coma.
We're talking sports. That's not a sport. All right.
The point being is that there are some fan bases that are just more absurd than others. Looking at you, Cowboys fans. Looking at you, Raiders fans. Dodgers fans, you're not holier than thou. I will say you are not. Again. You are not the Cincinnati Reds fan base.
He said nasty things go on, but not in other parks. That's a ridiculous statement. To make that comment shows how ridiculous he is.
If you're from LA and you care that much, it's absolutely a ridiculous statement.
No, if you're from any place, to say it only happens with, like you just said, only with this group of fans.
I do think that's a
ridiculous
threshold that they alone have pierced. That is something that they may not want to take ownership of, but. That's certainly a threshold.
Have you been to a Dodger game? Have you been to LA?
I've been to LA.
Have you gone to a Dodger game?
I've seen the stadium up on its little hill.
There's a certain somebody who's a big Diamondback fan in this state that has been to Dodger games. He used to be on this show. And he made the comment to me when he came back. He spent 3 games there and he said, really nice fans. Didn't give me a hard time. Were really nice to me. Had fun with them. And that's what you see at Dodger Stadium. So those 3 games
are indicative of all of Dodgers fans?
I'm just giving you the experience. He was scared going there. And when he came back, he said he was wrong.
And why was he scared? Because people have been put
like
in
this
comas.
Idiot PCA that say the things they say. When you have morons out there that make these assumptions, and then you actually go experience it, and you go, oh, I guess they weren't right. It's kind of like watching CNN, and you realize the truth later, right? It's the same experience. But anyway, he also made the point that these guys, the current players, are given the reasons for them to be fans. Really? We don't have any other reason except for these current guys to be fans. We can go back and I can talk about Dodger fandom and Dodger history and Dodger lore. See, this guy doesn't get it. He was never a true Dodger fan. He doesn't understand what it means to be a Dodger fan. We have history going back how far? There's reasons we were Dodger fans. There's a reason I was a Dodger fan growing up. It wasn't because of the current team today. It was because of all the history and everything else we experienced as Dodger fans. This is just an uninformed, immature, prep high school idiot. That's all he is. And you're going to pay for these comments every time you come back here, and I can't wait to listen to it. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm done. But
think-
real quick, before you do that, Blissful Hayes on Facebook says, these Dodger haters wish they had owners who want to win and are willing to spend money. It's called jealousy. Absolutely.
I think we can have space for both to say, again, that there's organizational excellence there, and the fans are just usually
The worst.
the worst.
You guys are just ridiculous. Bitter Dolphin fan says, as a Cub fan, which he is a Cub fan, and an 818er, which he is. He's like, this guy's both. He's a Cub fan and he's an 818 lifer. What he said was out of line. Time to revoke your 818 card. His card's revoked. It's gone. It's done. He doesn't have that card anymore.
I'm sure he's real scared about that.
He will be
I'm
later.
sure that he's wiping his tears with $100+ million that he just got from Chicago.
If I was his parents, I swear, I would have ripped him apart for these comments. And Bitter Dolphin fan also says, I was at a Raiders-Dolphins game in Oakland and saw Raider fans fighting each other. Yeah, Raider fans don't care. They'll go after each other.
I mean, that is true.
It's a good point, Bitter Dolphin fan. All right. Well, wow. We're at 11:06.
Yes, let's.
So instead of taking a break, this is what we're going to do. Because I don't think we have time to take a break. We have more stuff to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Unless you want to take a break.
No, let's go.
Let's go to the international. Let's send it over the pond to Reginald, and then we'll regather ourselves and we'll come back and we'll talk. We have Tiger Woods, we have NBA, and we still have NFL. So let's go ahead and throw it over to Reggie. Or Reginald. I'm sorry, Reggie. Please don't get mad at me.
From the Premier League to Serie A and the Bundesliga, it's time for the International Soccer Minute on the Weekend Warriors. I'm Reginald Bootsworth. Now then, club football is on pause. We're in the international break, with World Cup qualifying taking centre stage. The leagues return soon, but for now it's all about who reaches the big dance. And the headline this week, Italy delivered. The Italian national team defeated Northern Ireland 2-0 in a high-pressure match. A tense first half, then Italy's quality took over. Sandro Tonali opened the scoring just after the break, and Moise Kean sealed it late. Now, it all comes down to this. Italy face Bosnia and Herzegovina in the playoff final on March 31st. Win, and they're heading to the World Cup. Lose, and the nightmare continues. And Bosnia are no easy out. They knocked off Wales on penalties, with Edin Dzeko stepping up in a massive moment. Elsewhere, Kosovo stunned Slovakia 4-3 in a thriller, and Sweden saw Viktor Gyökeres score a hat-trick in a 3-1 win. And now Bootsworth's lock of the week, Italy versus Bosnia. I'm backing Italy. Too much experience, too much pride, plus now momentum. And that's the International Soccer Minute. I'm Reginald Bootsworth, where the boots are polished, the takes are proper, and the football never disappoints. Now back to the lads.
All right. Thanks, Reginald. I know the guys here didn't realize that actually international club soccer was on hiatus for a couple of weeks because of the because of the World Cup qualifying. And yeah, I personally this week, I actually paid to watch the Italy game against Northern Ireland, which was a great victory. And they'll play Tuesday to find out the last few teams that are going to make it to the World Cup for June. Hopefully Italy beats Bosnia, Herzegovina, or whatever they are. I'm sure they will. If not, they should take them out after the game. But I think Italy wins that game.
Classic Dodger fan behavior.
Hopefully Italy wins that game and we get to the World Cup so I can hopefully maybe see them play here. That'd be fun. I know their first game, I think, would be against Canada in Toronto. Can't wait. All right. So as we turn the corner here, Phil, let's talk about some driving on and off the course.
Well, in case it somehow, my goodness, in case it somehow escaped your purview, Tiger Woods was involved in a rollover accident and was charged with a DUI as he did a breathalyzer test at the scene of the crime. According to authorities, blew triple zeros. But when it came time to ask for a urinalysis test, he refused, and so he's been charged with the DUI with property damage and refusal to submit to a lawful test. No one was injured, except for the man's ongoing reputation. Because as I stated in the group chat, and I will state here now, and the joke actually got stolen away from me. I've seen it online.
Oh, really?
I was like, I guess it's the easy one, but has there ever been a dichotomy of somebody being both the best and worst driver all in one?
I rolled on the floor when you said
all in one.
I thought that was funny.
Look, Tiger Woods is quite possibly just grandfathered in as the last remaining, I want to say, relic of a bygone era where there was a deification of celebrities, certain celebrities, not everyone.
Okay.
If you look back, I'd say that there was, like, in a bygone era, LeBron James would have been deified. He's been too humanized with how much we've seen him and been able to. Michael Jordan, of course, has been deified. He's probably he's one of the last two. And then you look over, Tom Brady comes close. But again, I think we have too much communication with him. You have to have an era of mystery to you. Kobe Bryant was certainly this. And I think with that deification comes such a piercing arrogance and bravado that comes along with it. I mean, you're looking at a man who does still have a lot to lose. Like he had a fall from grace, and that was painful. And for a lot of people, that was only bolstering his ability that, oh, look, he is human and we still love him. And then he won a Masters in spite of that. Tiger Woods, look, he has all the resources available to him. Maybe he's not a player with the NFL or the NBA to where a driver would be provided for you. In that case, he would still have to pay for it. But I'm telling you, the man can afford it. The man could certainly have he much more than the rest of us could afford at least a Uber XL. You know, like it's absurd to me that he keeps doing it. And so you make the connotation to where he was certainly willing and able to do the breathalyzer, and he wasn't willing to do others. The connotation there, of course, we would just be allegedly doing reckless speculation. But it's just sad to see a man whose demons keep persisting and finding themselves in a way that would just continue to seemingly haunt the man. And look, at some point, we just need to take a moment back and just say, maybe we shouldn't be propping these people up to such absurd degrees.
I actually think a lot of I think everything you said is accurate. I think that regarding Tiger Woods maybe being the last athlete that's really become deified, I think he's also the reason that we don't do that anymore. I think his original fall of grace was kind of part of that launching off of we're done with this. You know, it coincided perfectly with social media starting to get bigger and bigger.
There was genuine shock with that.
Yes.
Like, I don't think with LeBron James, if there were to be cheating allegations that were to come out in TMZ, I don't think there'd be shock. No. Like, there wouldn't be just like an absolute, like, almost sense of betrayal in the common man.
No. And I think that right now we're seeing a man who needs help. He is in chronic pain from numerous, because I'm sure that's affecting his day-to-day life with how many surgeries he's had and the types of surgeries he's had and the wear and tear he's put on his body from all of those surgeries. And now this is the third car accident that we're aware of, if we include the first one being run into the tree and then the other one that happened several years ago. This is just a man who desperately needs help, and we are watching in real time. I can only hope that he gets the help that he needs. This is clearly something's going on. He, as you said, he has the resources to hire a private driver. He does not need to be doing this anymore. And we're also getting to the point now, your kids are seeing this in real time. Your kids were young enough when it first started, you could kind of shield them away from it a little bit. But now your kids probably have news alerts letting them know what's happening to their father before you even have a chance to talk to them yourself. And like, somebody has to step in and help him help himself. But at the end of the day, he needs to accept that he needs the help, and he needs to be willing to want to get the help.
We've stated it before, and we persist in this. If you have a good enough comment, we will read it, even in moments of seriousness and tone that it may not be there. But a commenter, Ralph, do you know who this is? Because I believe
this is Blissful Hayes.
Blissful Hayes says, maybe Tiger didn't have to pee,
and he probably didn't.
Darn, may I just say, he might have had to, and I still think he didn't have to.
It's funny. Jim Gray, you know who Jim Gray is, came on a show yesterday and was talking about Tiger and all this stuff that happened. And he was taking the empathy lane for Tiger. Oh, poor guy, blah, blah, blah. And I understand all that. I hate anybody that's in pain. He talked about how he's probably in a lot of pain. He's had all these surgeries, and that comes with painkillers and can make you do some stupid things. And I understand all that. But at some point, you have to be responsible for what you're doing and your potential ability to really hurt other people. And he's putting other people in danger through his actions of this stuff. It's a rollover, and thank God nobody was near him or nothing happened. But what if he would have taken out a couple kids on a bike because he was in a private neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is getting to a point where it's not about feeling bad for Tiger anymore. It's about, dude, you need to step up and get help and fix these issues because I don't feel for you anymore. And if not, you need to maybe go to jail or do something. You need to pay for what you're doing because what you're doing is going to hurt other people. And it's not okay. And it's not right. And I don't care if you're Tiger Woods or who you are, you have to do the right things for not just yourself, but for the people around you. And you're putting people in jeopardy, and you're putting people in some serious potential pain if you run into them or kill them. Who, when this happens again next time, who are you going to take out? And that's the scary part. We don't want that to happen. So I really do hope you go get the help. And if you don't go get the help and you do this again, then I really truly hope that you go to jail and you start paying for some of this, because you can't just do this because you're Tiger Woods. That doesn't fly for me. Okay. Anyway.
100%. Traveling all the way to a different sport. The NBA has announced that they are expanding. Luke, 2 new teams.
They've announced that they're exploring expanding. It is.
They're going to expand.
They will expand. I just want to be clear. They have announced that they are now exploring bids to expand in most likely Vegas and Seattle. It's basically the same thing as saying that they're expanding, but they gave themselves a little bit of wiggle room
just in case,
to back out in case they need to. I believe they're looking somewhere in the range of $7 to $10 billion to be added in, and
that they're targeting the 28 to 29 season for the expansion franchises to start playing.
Perfect. I love this. I think that this is needed. I think that we're getting to the point where you can absolutely add 2 new teams without diluting the pool. I think there's a lot of good.
But Luke, it's going to help with it's going to only make the tanking problem worse.
I disagree. First of all, we'll talk about this in a little bit, but I think NBA is going to try and solve tanking. I'm not fully confident they'll fully solve it,
but they'll try.
But they're trying. They're trying, and I will give them that, because other leagues, most other leagues don't have this problem to this extent, but other leagues don't even really try to necessitate stopping it. Basketball acknowledged, we have a problem. This is ridiculous. They started handing out the fines. At one point, they considered sending out doctors to confirm team's diagnosis. Like,
really? I like it.
To their credit, Adam Silver actually put his foot down and said, no, we're done with this. We will be making changes. So, but to get back to our current topic on expansion, it's probably Vegas. It's probably Seattle. Both of the teams, especially Seattle, desperately deserve to have a basketball franchise there. I do think that it also will be interesting because it's going to change the landscape of the conferences. Adding 2 West Coast teams, you will probably see, I'm assuming
Minnesota was the one that was rumored.
I'm guessing between Minnesota, Memphis, and New Orleans, I'm guessing 2 out of those 3 will move to the East. Geographically, those are the 3 that would make this the most sense. I believe you would have to move 2 over to the East.
Memphis for sure would make sense.
Memphis is the furthest east, and then I think technically New Orleans is second.
Yeah, it's close.
But Minnesota is closer to more Eastern teams, and it is like the 3rd closest East.
It's one of those where the closest teams to Minnesota are all in the Eastern Conference anyway. So there's a marriage there.
Well, and the Western teams require Mardi Gras, so I think they'll keep the New Orleans.
That's very true.
It's very important.
But I think Seattle, this is going to be amazing. I believe OKC has already said that they will cede any Supersonics records and history back to Seattle.
They should,
Exactly. They did easy PR win there. I think that'll be super interesting. I would also love, I think having a team in Vegas is going to be great as well. I'm glad that they are leaning into adding sports teams there. I think that Vegas deserves sports teams, and it was a good idea to put sports teams regardless of whether or not they were so entwined with betting. Now that the leagues are, even before the leagues were entwined with betting, I think that Vegas still deserved to have teams.
But it made sense before because they didn't have online betting, right? The only place you could bet was Vegas or Atlantic City.
Yeah.
So now that it's everywhere and at your fingertips, it doesn't really apply anymore. Who cares if you're in Vegas?
I personally think even before online gaming, they still should have been considered for.
But I get why they did it, right? It makes sense.
I get not wanting
Felt
that.
a bit antiquated even near the end.
Did you see the interview with Kevin Durant about this?
No.
So they talked to him and said, what did you think about, the league expanding into Seattle? And he said, Seattle absolutely deserves a team. That's where I started my career. I would love to go back and play for the Supersonics.
He said it.
And finish my career there.
He stated that multiple times.
Yeah, and I think that would be phenomenal to see him back in a Supersonic uniform where it all began.
And imagine how much that would help stop any possible tanking early from them. Hey, it'll be an old Kevin Durant, but he will still be good enough for you to not have to tank. He will still get you to close to 500.
Well, the reason why you're saying that is because we've seen this in sports history. Whenever there's expansion, usually one of two things happens. You either go to the extremes whenever an expansion draft happens because a new team gets you again. Usually, we don't know how it's going to actually work out, but usually, all the current teams in the league are able to lock down, keep aside at least like 2 to 3, depending on the percentage of players that there is. And then the rest are up for draftability. And so you then see that the new teams either do one of two things, which the Vegas Knights did the first, which is you draft older veteran players that are under contracts that are just favorable, or maybe that they're ending soon. And then you can create a team to win in the immediate here and now. Or you create a young team that has a lot of potential, but maybe it's unrealized and certainly not franchise altering, or else they would have been locked down by their current teams. And you take a chance on, say, a Kuminga as opposed to a Russell Westbrook. Like, those are probably the two extreme sides of the coin that new teams would be targeting. The one fun fact, or the one fun side of this that I do like, with a new Vegas team comes a new Vegas team name. I want so desperately the name to be the NBA Sinners.
The Sinners?
Isn't that great?
No.
You got the NFL Saints. Tell me you don't love that.
I'll be honest, I'm actually not against it. I would want to hear more options, but I'm actually not against the NBA Sinners. I don't think that would ever happen.
It's a bit far.
It is a bit far, and I don't think anybody wants to put up with the headache that several groups of people would have if that were to be the name. However, I don't hate it. But I will just point out one other thing. You said the 28-29 season?
28-29 season is where rumoredly, yes.
Well, if they do start that year, Kevin Durant will be a free agent. So they wouldn't even have to use
the draft,
a draft to pick him. They could sign him to, because at that point, I mean, that's like it's 3 years down the road now. He's not demanding that top tier money probably at that age. And so they might be able to sign him for like a good deal in addition to all of their picks.
I do wonder if this goes through, and certainly at the asking price that they're wondering, because $7 to $10 billion is a lot. And for those particular markets, like if it was another New York team, I think that you could generate it. You look at the Lakers getting evaluated, and they were at, I forget, like 8 billion or maybe even 10 billion themselves. So you're asking for equal value to buy into the NBA for either Vegas or Seattle, both of which are not bad markets. They're not Oklahoma City, to where like that was only moved away from Seattle out of a desire from the Oklahoma City Thunder owner at the time, desiring to move there. But that's where I wonder, because you've seen speaking of people, sports athletes that have had comments historically, but have recently changed. LeBron James had notoriously been desiring to be an NBA owner. Had there been expansion near the end of his playing career, and he pivoted recently. He did. And I wonder if it has to do with the price tag.
I don't think so. I think that, I don't know about LeBron. I don't think that the evaluation is too high is what I'm trying to say. I think that those teams were valued at $7 to $10 billion right now or within recent years, we're looking 3 years down the line is when this team would actually get going. And at the end of the day, these sports teams' valuations are going to constantly go up. And I think that 7 to 10 is probably worth it for those cities. You're especially Vegas because you're now also adding an MLB team. You will be the final. You'll be the final of the Big Four in Vegas. Seattle, you'll be the final. Both of them will complete your quadrant. Yeah. That's not the right word for that, but quadfecta. Right.
That feels worse.
You'll be completing the Big Four sports teams for both Seattle and Vegas, which I think really adds value to being able to say that you are a sports team or a sports city. Like I know even a lot of people here in Arizona, even though they didn't necessarily care about the Coyotes, we were proud to be able to say that we had all four of the major sports. And losing the Coyotes, even though they didn't necessarily be a huge fan of them, it still kind of hurt a little to be like, oh no, we don't have that title anymore. We don't have that status anymore. So
we're no better than Seattle. We're no better than St. Louis.
Exactly. And so like I think being able to have those kind of valuations is pretty accurate for what you're getting, especially because I believe for both of them, you're also going to be getting a brand new arena probably.
Quickly on the anti-tanking measures, outside of helicoptering in your own doctors and perhaps, I don't know, like maybe going back and forth on the 65 game rule that has offered a lot of consternation as of recently, especially with like a Cade Cunningham injury where he's going to be ineligible and in the history of time will be ineligible for an all-star team, an all-NBA team. And how that is logged in history and perceived in history and doesn't truly show the value that he had over the course of this NBA season. You're saying that there are other anti-tanking measures that the NBA is considering, Luke?
Yes. So they launched 3 proposals. I will attempt to, and they launched these recently, as in it looks like yesterday or a couple days ago. I'll try to
fresh off the Panini press.
Fresh off the Panini press. I will try my best to summarize these as succinctly as possible. 3 options. Option A, 18 team lottery, including the numbers 7 through 15 seeds in both conferences, with flat odds at 8% for the teams with the 10 worst records. Every pick would be drawn in the lottery rather than just the top 4.
Okay.
Option B, a 22-team lottery, including the numbers 7 through 15 in both conferences and the teams that lose in the first round of the playoffs. The lottery order would be determined by each team's cumulative 2-year record. There is a floor for win totals in this option. And so basically, if you set your floor at 25 wins and the team ends up at 13 wins, you, for the purposes of this, would basically bump that up to 25. So there would be no point in trying to tank worse than whatever your floor is.
Okay.
Only the top 4 draft picks would be drawn in the lottery, just like in the current system.
And then last option,
18-team lottery, including the number 7 through the 15 seeds in both conferences, flat odds for the teams with the 5 worst records. In this system, there would effectively be 2 lotteries. The first drawing would determine the top 5 picks, and then the second would determine the 13 picks that follow. However, the teams that finish with the bottom 5 records and aren't drawn in the first lottery would be guaranteed a pick no worse than 10th.
Okay.
And those are your 3 options. It's a lot to have to process right now. But basically, I think the easiest way to sum up all 3 of these options, garbage.
Yeah, I was kind of
garbage.
I was kind of a fan of the wheel. I don't know if you've where all over the course of the next 30 years, every team is guaranteed a number 1 overall pick. It's just a matter of going down the order and, all throughout the 30.
No,
Oh, okay. Well,
that's what you want to do.
I kind of like it. Because then
No.
you're just guaranteed and slotted. Like, hey, in 5 years, our pick is going to be number one.
I hate that.
Okay.
That sounds like everybody gets a trophy. And I hate that. You earn a trophy. You don't just get it.
So you earn to be the worst?
Yes, you earn it by being the worst.
So all of these things you'd then disagree with because then you're
Yeah, I'm not a fan. If you're the worst, you get the number one pick. I hate the lottery. I think the lottery's terrible.
I don't think in NBA you can afford to not do the lottery, unfortunately.
I just hate the lottery system. I'm not a fan.
I think it's bad for other sports, but I think NBA LeBron James is the perfect example of it. If you get the number one overall pick with LeBron James, your franchise is for sure changed for the next however long.
3 years ago, the Spurs were awful. And each year you've seen tangible steps with the growth and maturation of, well, not maturation because he already came out a pretty pristine jewel. But I mean, we're going. And so each year with just how he's even grown, even as a physical specimen, you've seen the growth of the team alongside with him to where that they are a legitimate title contender with him 3 seasons in, which is unheard of, really.
Yeah, and I think just to put a quick bow on all 3 of these options, you're not really solving a ton of the big problems here. You're just kind of changing it. You're changing the rates a little bit. You're changing how many teams go into the lottery. The only one that you kind of give any like benefit to, any incentive to not continue to tank is the one with the floor of how many wins you are at. But even then, if you're going to tank, then you're just tanking for that. And at that point, you're so bad, it's not going to matter.
How about just put rules around tanking? How about just don't let these guys tank?
I don't know how one does.
And how do you police that?
Just like the Wizards. You're the Wizards right now, Ralph. And you traded for 2 injured players. I think if the Wizards were to, and I believe they have been putting out their best team currently available to play.
You can disallow that trade. The NBA's done it before. They can. They've done it.
But
they've
also
disallowed trades.
But what I would say is the Wizards, at least I wouldn't disallow those ones because at least I can see they have a plan. It might not be a good plan, but they have a plan. They're trying to say, we're going to suck this year, but we will do better next year. And we have the players that we think will make us better next
I've got 2 solutions.
Okay.
One of which is simple. The other one might be a little more convoluted. Simple one first.
Okay.
If you pick in the top 4, 5, whatever it is, 1 year, you simply cannot, with your own draft pick, draft back-to-back years in the top 4 or 5.
But what if you're bad?
Don't be bad back-to-back years. We'll give you 1 year. We'll give you 1 year.
If you're bad, you're bad.
Yeah, but then you get the 6th pick the next year.
6th pick is drastically different in the NBA than the first pick.
I'm agreeing. I'm saying that as a positive. If you're bad in back-to-back years, it's not like you're not allowed to draft in the first round. It's not like you're not allowed to have a top 10 pick. You just can't have a top 3, 4, or 5 pick.
I think I just do it like the NFL does it. If you're bad, you're bad.
Then you're just going to see worse tanking.
And we go to my second solution, which I think is going to be in the favor of the NFL. You shouldn't have to match salaries in the NBA. Like, I think that you are held to an NBA salary cap and some version of that and be able to be fungible with that. But you shouldn't be held because a lot of the times what doesn't allow, you're not allowed to get rid of a contract altogether. You still have to take back salary. So a lot of these times you'll see times in order, like a throw in just to make the salaries work to blah, 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 blah. So you either allow them to not have to match salaries immediately and have some wiggle room on when to have to be cap eligible, or then the next side would be then allow in the NBA the ability to trade cap space. That also would help. Again, that's a little too much in the weeds, but I think that there are creative ways, even without just directly addressing tanking, that could indirectly address tanking. First one, I think simplest is simply do not allow teams to go back-to-back seasons in the top 5. Because I think by the time you get to 5, you can still hit gems. But you look at the Warriors, they got Draymond Green in the second round. You got other very fine draftable pieces that are later on.
I don't like that. I just don't. What if you have the number 1 pick and you pick the guy and he's a bust? So now you get penalized because you picked the guy that you should have picked. He's an absolute bust, and now you can't pick number 1 again, even though you're going to be crappy again next year.
Pick better.
But everyone would have picked him, right? How many times does a number 1 pick fall off? It happens.
Specifically in the NBA, that actually doesn't always necessarily. That is not always the case.
Like, it's not always the case, but it can happen.
Usually, whenever that happens, it is correct. Other times, it's whenever you get funky with the results that it's not. Like such as Markelle Fultz should not have been a number 1 overall pick, but that year it was kind of like, who do you pick? There was no consensus.
The guy Portland picked. Remember that big center that was hurt all the time?
Okafor?
No, Greg Odom.
Oh, Odom. No.
Yeah, Odom. Well, Odom was a number 1 pick, wasn't he?
He was, but
he was an absolute bust because he was hurt his whole career.
Yeah.
He could never get on the court. So we penalized Portland for that?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
You have to penalize somebody. If all you do is say, do it like the
we've seen that script. I need something. I need to change in order to pursue something closer to perfection than where we currently are, as opposed to like the 3 worst teams in the NBA right now going on a combined like 60 game losing streak. It's absurd.
Because that's what you're going to see is you're going to see a team like Utah. You're going to see a team who missed the first overall pick. There was no punishment for making a bad pick. They're like, okay, well, we'll just continue to run out 10 games.
But are they sitting players?
Yes.
Then they shouldn't be allowed to do that. Make the rules around that.
How do you determine that?
Why are they sitting them? Are they saying they're hurt?
Yes.
Are they being evaluated by the league?
About that, Ralph?
But go back to your joke. Are they being evaluated by the league? They should be. If they're going to sit players for a period,
you can't.
Sure, you can. If you want to get around, if you start seeing a pattern, which I'm looking to, and I can see the pattern you're talking about, right?
Looking at you, Utah.
You can see Wizards, Nets, Pacers, Grizzlies, Jazz. They're all in a pattern where they're just not winning, right? There, you can tell they're probably tanking. But if they're sitting players to do this, there should be some kind of a league policy or a league rule where the league has to evaluate those players to determine if they're able to play or not. Because if they should be able to play medically, if they can play, they should be on the court. Period. And for a period of time.
I think that's ideal, but honestly, Ralph, I think at some point we do get to a legal HIPAA like thing to where I don't know if you can force a person.
I think the legal implication would be when the Jazz say this is a risk, we're not going to take it. An NBA doctor says you need to take this or you're being fined, and then he goes out, gets hurt, and now the league's just got sued for $100 million and they will lose.
What if the league is able to tag things on their contracts that say if they miss X amount of games, they lose money on their contract? So we start, I'm making $100 million a year, just a general number. Yeah. For every game I miss, it costs me X.
Players will never agree to that.
Yeah, I know. That's
I didn't say they would agree to it, but I'm thinking, something
they
like
have to agree to it.
There's got to be a penalty for missing those games. I know that the league is already, aren't they already have a thing where if you don't play so many games, you're not eligible for awards?
Yeah, it's the 65 minimum.
And it's already drew some consternation on how it's.
But I like that.
Historically logging the game.
If you don't go to your job for an extended period of time, you have an allowance. But if you go over that allowance, you don't get paid. Yes. Correct? Same for you. Why are these guys different?
But also, it's not always up to the player. It's up to the organization.
Like you look at Cade Cunningham this year, he's an MVP candidate. He's not going to win, nor would he have had he even played the whole year. But he just recently got diagnosed with a collapsed lung. Like, you're not playing with a collapsed lung. There's no way to fake a collapsed lung.
He's got a medical reason that he shouldn't play.
Yes. And he's not going to be eligible to make any of the all NBA teams.
Okay.
Any 1, 2, and 3. And there's contract things associated with that. And it feels unfair. Like you said, bummer.
But I mean, it's just like for you and me and the everyday Joe, it's the same thing. If we miss time, we don't make money.
But again, now you're talking a completely separate issue because it's not, now you're punishing the players for an organization's decision.
But if a player knows that those things are tied to his salary, he's going to be vocal about it.
It doesn't matter if he's vocal about it. If the organization says,
if he comes out to the Players Association and says, they're not letting me play because I'm not going to get paid because of these guys. Don't you think that's going to create issues?
But it's going to create issues with the league.
All right. I think we're just chasing our tail at some point here, but
I just hate this.
It's easy to see why they need to come up with a solution. We can all at least acknowledge it's a problem.
Yes.
I wonder where on earth they will land, and if at all it would, and how the efficacy on it will be.
But this is what's killing the NBA, right?
I would agree far more than the ballyhooed All-Star game. I could give 2 donuts about the All-Star game as opposed to this.
No one
this
cares
actually,
about it.
Yeah. I think competitive integrity matters matters to some degree.
Tanner's on YouTube says Adam Silver's Duke education clearly coming out with those options. And then Bitter Dolphin fan says, why is it so prevalent in the NBA? We talk so much about tanking. Ralph, I don't remember any NHL teams tanking.
I think
you're right, because in the NHL, you don't have these teams trying to do this ridiculousness to try to get that number one pick or whatever. They actually want to play the games and try to win no matter what. But also, I mean, a million players, well, in the NBA too, I was going to say almost every team in the NHL seems to make the playoffs. And just like, it's kind of like the NBA too. It seems like almost every team makes the playoffs.
I think it's because simply the simple disproportionate fact that one player is 20% of your talent at any given time on the court.
Because there's only 5 guys on the ice. There's only 5 guys on the ice.
Yeah, but they cycle out. I mean, like
they do in the NBA too.
Sidney Crosby. I mean, we've seen this with oh my God, who's the best player right now? I can't think of his name.
And where, hockey?
Yeah, hockey.
McDavid,
yes, we've seen that with McDavid. He can't overcome. He can only take a team so far. And one would argue that the league that he was playing in was the only reason why he got to the finals against the Panthers. But he's lost against them, and there's only so much a single player can do. Sidney Crosby is fantastic. There's only so much he can do. Wayne Gretzky himself has historically proven this, that he was only able to play when the talent around him at least met his level. He can't pull a play. In the NBA, that is not the case.
I don't know about that.
Also, in hockey, you have, yes, there are defenders. Yes, you play offense and defense, but you have a goalie. You have someone whose job it is to be 100% defense all the time. Basketball, you don't have that like extra player to help you on defense.
You've never seen me on the ice. I don't care how good the goalie was. I'd throw it right by him. You guys rich. I scored on him left and right.
Sure.
If there's no defender back there helping him, I'm going to score on him. I'm going to score on him 8 out of 10 times.
For sure.
Did you want to see video?
No.
Okay, because I've got it.
No interest in that.
He will pull out the VHS.
Yeah, I've got VHS video of me scoring 2 goals in 10 seconds.
Anyway, our sexiest commentator here is saying, Sports Girly.
You call her a sexist?
No, a sexiest.
Oh,
our sexiest commentator. Yeah.
Like, don't call her sexist.
No. She says 100% agree. Tanking is killing the NBA.
She's right. It is. The NBA is
it's killing the interest, I would say.
It's the 2 biggest problems with the NBA is they need less games and they need the games to matter more.
Yes.
Right now.
And the WNBA.
No.
That's the 2 biggest issues. And they kind of coincide with each other. They feed into each other. And if you're not going to make less games because owners are greedy and they want more money.
Oh my God.
Then you have to make the games matter more somehow, which means you have to do something about tanking. You have to give those teams an incentive to want to be in the middle. And I think that's the problem. There's no incentive to be in the middle right now. Your incentive is to either be at the very top or the very bottom. It's not like football where a wild card team can get hot at the right time and just win 3 games and you're in the Super Bowl.
The NFL, you very rarely see tanking. You only ever see it between like the last two teams that have been irrelevant the entire year, and even then
you don't really see it. I see the idiot teams go and win a game the last game of the year when they could have had the number 1.
Looking at you, Lovie Smith. Yeah.
I mean,
and respect the heck out of him for doing it.
100%.
He did not care at all.
It's funny in the NBA when you look at the teams right now. There's 4 teams in each conference that are actually playing good ball right now. And then when you go below that 4th team, it's mediocre at best.
And I think that's the issue is you have the 4 teams in each one, and then you have that middle ground that's a curse, and it's those teams who want to try to move up, and they just have hit for whatever reason that wall. But now they're going to be the ones punished the most because now they're going to get a bad draft pick, and they're not going to be able to make a deep playoff
because they're doing it right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I mean, even if we went straight to the NBA law or NFL draft style, those teams would still be getting the short end of the stick, and you're still incentivizing the Nets and the Wizards and the Kings and the Jazz to be as bad as possible. I will not throw the Pacers in there.
That's completely
that was a completely different thing that happened to them, and they do not intentionally set themselves up to tank. They just lost their best player by far to a terrible injury in literally the last possible game of last year.
The Celtics are the aberration of the rule where their best player goes down and they're still able to succeed.
No, Jaylen Brown never went down. I said what I said.
Let's just get rid of the draft. Let's just make everybody a free agent at the beginning of the year.
I've liked that idea too, to where like if you're the worst team, you get like more cap space to sign a player, and therefore you can to make it simple, fuddy-duddy money. If you're the worst team, you get $1 million per year to give the player. Second worst team, you get 900,000, and so on and so forth down.
Or you can average it based on years. If you're the worst team over the last 3 years, you get the number 1 pick.
Or you get $1 million for 1 year.
I would love, out of every sport, I'd love NBA to have relegation.
Every sport should have relegation.
Every sport should. I think the NBA needs it the most.
I just can't risk the Lakers.
That is where the U.S. sports miss it. That's where they totally miss it. Relegation is huge. It's money because you have these other leagues below them that actually are still well attended, those games.
And still try.
They're missing the boat in this country when it comes to relegation.
You could instantly double the amount of cities that you have NBA presence in.
Manchester City, who's one of the top Premier League teams in soccer, has got something going on to where if they lose this battle, they're going to be deducted 60 points in the season and they'll get relegated.
Yeah.
One of the best teams in Premier League might get relegated because they did something wrong.
And here's the thing, I don't think the Lakers would ever get relegated, because I think if you are a Laker, you would be trying, like you would have a reason to be in the middle of the pack.
Okay, wait. We have the best chat text ever.
Oh God.
This is
I was
best.
hoping we could get through without
I didn't
seeing
see
that.
this until now.
I was wondering why you didn't bring it up.
Ralph was a great player. He could score and had great slap shot. He was also good at fighting his own teammates.
Sounds like a Dodger fan.
I led, not only did I one year lead the league in scoring, I led in penalty minutes and fights. So yeah, I got into a lot of fights.
Impressive.
But thank you, bitter Dolphin fan, and I scored many of them on you as well.
Yeah. But but going back to this,
that was better
to put a bow in it. I think the NBA would be the most benefited from relegation, because it's the one that needs the most incentive to not be at the bottom. Everyone else, the incentive at the bottom is clear and no one wants to be there. The NBA has to provide a reason to not be in the bottom, and relegation would perfectly solve that.
Fair enough. Moving away, let's go to some other contractual talk that actually makes a little bit more of digestible food here in the offseason. JSN gets paid. JSN gets a 4-year extension, averaging, what was it? 42 was the final?
168.6 is the guarantee.
Yeah.
Or 120 is the guarantee.
120 is the guaranteed, and 160 is the total contract. Meaning,
40 million
contractually, he is linked to the team for the next 6 years. Now,
yes.
Yeah. Contractually, he's linked to the team for the next 6 years. I don't really know where to go with this other than I think that this makes an abundance of sense. I think the further on you go in on this, the more sense it's going to make, as it will age into just an extreme value of a contract year in and year out. You see them getting ahead of other wide receivers in this. Now, Ralph will be the lone person on the island, the Seahawks island, full of confetti, full of silver from the Lombardi, and saying, "Don't pay our best player." And I need to know why, Ralph.
Well,
why?
First of all, he's not our best player, but okay.
Who's your best
He's our
player?
best offensive player, but he's not our best player.
Who's your best player?
I have plenty of guys on defense that I can start mentioning, like
Plenty
Witherspoon.
of that's just not accurate.
Oh, yes, it is. Absolutely.
Not
I've got
plenty.
Byron Murphy. I've got Witherspoon, just to name two. I got Emanwari as a rookie who was unbelievable.
We're just
Anyway.
You're saying the rookie is better than JSN. That's what you just said.
It has potential to be better.
No. You just said he is better.
I think between him and Witherspoon, it's real close.
Between JSN and Witherspoon.
It's close.
That's fine. You said plenty of defensive
I do have plenty of guys because I think Murphy also, for what he
you
does.
think Murphy's
Byron
better
Murphy,
than JSN?
for his position?
No. You think he's a better player than JSN is what you just said.
In his position, yeah.
That's the most
JSN
insane.
can't play defensive line.
So you're saying that Byron Murphy is a top 3 defensive line?
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
Okay, so we have just gone full on
Off the rails.
We'll talk about that
Pills.
later, but you're asking me the question.
Specifically JSN, yes.
So I understand this move, but I don't agree with it. But I do understand it. The Seahawks look for a certain type of player to bring into the fold, right? They look for the anti what was his name? The guy for the Eagles, it was the Eagles, with AJ Brown.
AJ Brown.
The anti-AJ Brown, the anti-Chad Ochocinco, those guys. They don't like those guys. They like the humble guys that work hard, that can be leaders silently, that fit into what they want to do. JSN is everything the Seahawks want in a player. No doubt about it, right? And he's the best offensive player on the team and in the league this year, according to the awards and all that. He was in the top offensive player of the year. So I understand the move, why they want to just lock this guy up and move on. I get it. But at the same point, and we talked about this before the show, you could have not done this move. You could have given him his option that they agreed to was 23 point whatever $1 million for the year. And you could have waited a year and seen what he did this year, because he's only done it once. This is a 1 year thing, right? And you could argue that, well, he had Geno Smith at quarterback, he had DK taking his spot, blah, 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 blah. I get all that. But let's see him do it another year before you give him $40 million a year. Nobody else was going to reset the market this year because no one's eligible until Puka next year, I believe we said, right?
Puka, and then Philip was trying to say George Pickens.
Which is ridiculous. He's not going to make $40 million a year. George Pickens is not that guy. It's really Puka and JSN.
Dumb Raiders team everywhere you go.
Right. But it's Puka and JSN. Those are the two guys. And you could have dealt with it next year and given him his flowers and his money after he did it for a second straight year. It doesn't hurt you. Why not do it? That's what I would have done. I would have waited 1 more year. What if he comes out this year and lays an egg? You just gave him $40 million guaranteed a year. I just would have waited. I love the guy. He's one of my favorite players. I just love everything about him. But it's a business. And when it's a business, I'm going to wait and let's see him do it 1 more year. And then I'll give him his money. That's all I ever said about this. And I continue down that path. I've had Seahawks fans in my Seahawks group poo-poo me this week and say, nope, you're crazy. So it's fine. I said, I understand what you guys and why you wanted to lock this player down, but he's only done it 1 year, man. Let's see it 2. What's wrong with wanting to see a second year?
I'm fully on board with you, Ralph.
Absurd.
Again, it's purely because I do not feel like you needed to worry about that number ballooning anymore between this year and doing it next year, especially because if he goes out and repeats this next year, you instantly give him the contract instantly. So you're probably getting through it even before Puka. So you're not even really worried about Puka resetting the market. You're just instantly giving him the money before Puka has a chance to give out a super higher number.
Right.
George Pickens, whether he gets 40 million, 42 million or not, you're still paying him roughly the same. And I think Puka and JSN's contracts at the end of the day are going to be very close. It's going to be within a couple million each one, just so that one of them can say I made more. But you're not going from 42 million to 52 million because you've waited 1 more year.
We are not talking about the elephant in the room, in that what is the difference between Puka Nacua and JSN? And it's not going to be contract numbers.
Puka Nacua is a nut.
Yes.
He has a big mouth. He says a lot of
Bitter Dolphin fan just said.
He just said, with the possible legal trouble Puka may have, do you think Puka gets a JSN type contract? That's the only thing maybe preventing that from happening, because this guy can't keep his mouth shut, or he bites people, or whatever he does.
Allegedly
he puts his teeth more. I have no idea. But he kind of reminds me of DK a little bit. He kind of reminds me of AJ Brown a little bit. He's kind of got this negative stuff around him that kind of follows him, where a guy like JSN, absolute opposite, right? There's nothing you don't negative have to worry about.
Do you know how much value that is, especially from that position?
That's worth more than what you would give Puka.
Yes, exactly. And the fact that you're getting him at a price lower than Puka while getting the same production
but you could have got that next year.
Yeah, I don't
know.
To
Luke's point, I agree with him 100%. You would have got the same thing next year.
But also,
what changes it?
Don't you want to set a reward principle of just saying, guys, our
you're rewarding him with the biggest contract ever for a wide receiver.
If you produce for our team, if you are an AP NFL Offensive Player of the Year, if you are a player that is a homegrown talent, is one of our guys, standout character guy, we are going to make sure that you are taken care of. It is worth its own weight in gold.
We're going to take care of you after next season. Trust us.
Especially on the back of Kenneth Walker leaving. I think it's a very good way to muddy the water of how negative that potentially could have been. And say, look, Kenneth Walker was just a little.
Most people were like, yeah, no, it makes sense why Seattle didn't want to pay Kenneth Walker that.
Yeah, you don't pay a guy that has injury history that kind of money.
Yeah, there's some
especially at his age
who still don't understand it.
Tanner's on here, says, hold up, man. I get called Luke's parrot, but bitter Dolphin fan can hype up Ralph's alleged hockey skills. First of all,
we're not 818. That's all it is.
It's not
because
alleged.
we're not 818ers or whatever the heck it is. We don't get that benefit. It's kind of like how Dodgers fans put people in coma, but some of them are really nice. So we're not gonna look at the negatives, just the positive.
Coma's just
That's
a nap.
all. That's
just
all
a
it is,
nap.
Tanner. I know that. I know you're not a parrot, Tanner. But we all know what's going on with the A1-aters.
Also, you get
We should have him come on the show because I need to rip him apart a little bit.
He actually doesn't live too far from the studio.
also
Relative.
JSN. You get him during the prime years. The fact that you get him for 6 years and you don't have to go. Honestly, where is that over the hill age and number where you're like, I don't really want to
For a
be
receiver?
playing. For a receiver, it's about
30.
31.
I'll say 30. Yeah, 30.
Yeah, 30, 31.
Yeah,
You
he's
get-
23, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
24 right now is what I have.
Yeah, he just turned 24.
And so you get him for the next 6 years.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that last year being something that you're being contentious over.
But again, I could have done that either way without risking that money this year. I'm going to say it over. I'm the biggest Seahawks fan you've ever met. True?
Yeah. Yeah. That I've ever
Don't-
met.
Don't
Yeah.
ever think about it. It's true. I love JSN. Do it one more year.
Doesn't feel like you do.
Do it one more year.
It's just from a business sense, it did not make sense to pay him. Again, you didn't have Jamar Chase already got paid. Justin Jefferson already got paid.
Right.
Puka, honestly, you might have already spent more than you needed to based off of what Puka's trajectory off the field currently is. But yeah, and also you could have, if you really wanted to, you could have found other ways to reward him for what he just did. You could have easily waited the 1 year to sign him.
Yeah, I just don't see why
you were
that's
in a
bad thing.
unique position to not be forced into it.
Because
Yet.
now you've got to sign Witherspoon. You have no choice. You've got to. Remember, they're the same draft class. You've got to give Witherspoon his contract now. Because if you don't, that's
he's
a
better
bad.
than
That's
JSN.
that's a bad message to Witherspoon if you don't give him money
I think
right
that
now.
the key difference there, though, too, and why you're willing to commit to JSN is look at the games played for JSN. 17 games,
Mhm.
past 3 seasons, rookie year, 2 years ago, and then last year.
Mhm.
I'm hesitant, and that's just as an outlook on as a general manager point of view. I'm weary of paying a defensive player
Why?
franchise because by definition, if you're doing your job well, you are making an impact via and risking your health each and every time.
Not in the
That goes for anybody.
backfield as much though.
As much.
That goes for
Byron
anybody.
Murphy for sure, but
You need to accept one thing in football, and I think a lot of people struggle with this. If I'm an owner, I'm going to put a majority of my money on the defensive side of the ball because the bottom line is, I'm going to tell you why. And you're a typical Bronco fan. This is why you guys lost to the Seahawks. You put all that money on the offensive side, and the better defense will beat you in the Super Bowl. Defense wins championships. If you have the best defense, and Trent Dilfer is a prime example of that statement.
he's the poster boy of that
Right?
statement.
If you have a great defense, an elite defense, and a mediocre offense, you can win Super Bowls. You cannot win Super Bowls the other way around. You can't win with a mediocre defense. It just doesn't happen. It's very rare. A great defense will get you there and get you over the top with a mediocre offense. That's where my money goes. That's where Seattle's been doing it right? They're going to be putting money into the defense. Offensively, I struggle giving a receiver $40 million a year. That's a lot of money.
All right,
man.
Mr. I want to spend my money towards defense.
That's just me.
Any clue who the top 5 spending in defensive cap over last season was?
Last season? No, I have no idea.
Number 1, Steelers. Is that the result you want? No. Last year, we're looking at $5 million less. Is the Giants. Is that the result you want?
I have answers, but go ahead.
We're
through
looking
those.
next at the Ravens.
Mhm.
Again, I guess if you like what you got with the Steelers, there's close. Is that the result you want? No.
Keep going.
We got the Bears, which was very much
Yeah,
give or gone.
they did a
Bears.
great job.
And then Patriots. Now we're going to Colts and then Commanders.
So Patriots
Panthers.
in the Super Bowl, Bears number 2 seed that made it to pretty far. The other teams you're talking about either really young or a lot of injuries.
The Raiders are also in here. My God.
Now they are probably, but they got rid of a bunch of junk. Again, look at Seattle. I guarantee you, in the next 2 years, 3 years, Seattle will be probably the most spent the most money on defense in the league in the next 2-3 years because they're going to have to pay these guys.
They're not going to pay all of them.
They're going to pay a percentage of them, though. They have to. They've already let some guys go because they understand they can't pay everybody. Of course not.
And they'll probably end up going to have to let more go just because they're going to have that Super Bowl winning tax.
As long as they keep drafting the way they're drafting, that's fine. That's a recipe for success, right? If you keep bringing in good guys on the defensive side of the ball, which is they've done a really good job of with John Schneider,
Yes.
then you can let some of those guys go because you can't keep everybody. It's impossible. But like I said about Sam Darnold, I love Sam Darnold. If 2 years from now, when his contract's up, and let's say he's had 2 more good years, let's say they even won another Super Bowl, he comes back and says, I want 55, 60 million a year. I'd say there's the door. See ya.
All right. I need you to separate right now from me because I'm going to ask this question and
Okay.
I need you to separate from what you would do versus what you think actually the organization will do.
Okay.
Do you feel like the organization will, in light of knowing that JSN now is getting paid on average $40 million per year, and he's almost doubly being out earned by his wide receiver, do you think Sam Darnold will get a new deal sooner rather than later?
No, I don't think he gets one sooner.
I think he's going to get one,
Nope.
like an extension in the middle of the season.
And I don't think they extend him at all.
I think you almost have to.
You definitely don't have to.
Nope. What for?
I think if you're Sam Darnold, you force the matter.
Sam Darnold is not the reason the Seahawks are where they are.
We can agree on that. I don't know if Sam Darnold and his management is saying when else are you going to strike when the iron's hotter?
You're forgetting one thing.
What am I
They
forgetting?
love Jaden Milroe. Now, I know he hasn't done anything yet.
I don't know.
No,
if
they
love him.
love. Trust me, they love him. I'm hearing. I talk. I mean, all the shows and everything. The
You got
owners,
Schneider in your
they
back pocket.
love.
You
him.
mean they don't publicly say anything negative about the player they drafted?
No, they
That's
just,
shocking.
they love him, man. So we'll see what happens. Anyway,
I want to pay you, JSN.
that's our show. We'll see you next week.
Toodaloo.